another comment on the resume?
Absolutely.
I noticed that your education section comes before your experience section right now. That's probably from 12 years ago as well.
Yes.
At this point, you've had how many years of experience since your last education?
Actually, I just got my master's degree last year.
Oh, where is it?
It's on,
It's backwards. Okay. Flip these around, please.
on there.
It's gold in here, but you really got to dig for it, right?
Yeah, you want your most recent first.
And you know
Well,
what? I think the person that helped me 12 years ago put it in that order. So I was just like, okay, I'll do that too.
Yeah, that's actually, that degree is very relevant, obviously, to what you're looking for. So that's really
Yeah.
a plus. Yeah.
It still might make more sense to put your work experience first.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
Okay.
if you want to highlight that you just got a degree, that's another thing that you can put in the summary, the
Yes.
summary section.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You can also, if there are bullet sort of highlights that you want to put up front and you're finding that your summary section, everything is so important to have there and it's just getting to be a really long paragraph, you can pull some things out into bullets.
Oh, okay.
This is so great. I just want to underline for everybody who's jumping in now and viewing, one of the beauties of looking at resume and working with somebody real time is for you to be looking at your resume, considering how you relate to it and taking as much learning from it as you possibly can.
Good point.
There's so many people I've talked to who are, have worked at a company for 10, 15 years and are now maybe in a point of transition. So Robin, this is so great for so many of our viewers. I just really appreciate you sharing this, and Brenda, you bringing your expertise in here on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Sure. So the next thing I'm seeing is that you have some past experience that you still have in the present tense. So this is really just a call for everyone to scrub your resume, read through it or have someone else read through it and catch things like that, because that's a pretty obvious one that it's past tense. So if you did it in the past, put it in the past.
Are you talking about the symposium catering?
I'm looking at pretty much everything that was in the past. The verbs are in the present.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you want those verbs to be in the past tense.
So I have a quick question. Like your work experience always has to be in the order that it's in. I'm finding that like when you do on LinkedIn, you have to do it through the computer and you put in the stuff and sometimes it automatically puts it in order. And I left that symposium catering job on there because I still do that job and I've done it for like 15 years. So I kind of left it on there for longevity, although the experience doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm looking for now. Take it off. Okay.
Yeah, it's distracting.
Okay. All right.
I've got to jump in here and say, I have no idea that you were working as a bartender and a guest in Michigan City, which is where I live. So which bar were you at?
Oh!
I live in Michigan City too. I do the catering events at the Orak Temple.
Oh my God. I was
cool.
wondering what the heck that was. I did not know what went on in that place.
Oh gosh, we do tons of stuff. It's beautiful in there, but I've done it forever. And I left it on my resume just to show like I'm such a good employee and I've worked here since I was 2. But but it doesn't really mesh with what I'm looking for. So I thought, well, I wonder if I should take it off. And now I know.
You can, if you have extra room, which you don't. Like I would shorten this resume a lot. But if you shorten it and find that you have a little extra space and you want to put some skills and interests at the bottom or additional interests, you can put bartending. And that might be a conversation starter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good point.
And then one final question. The 3 government jobs that I had actually were all for one government. Like I worked in the same place. I just got promotions, but I kind of separated them so that because each of the jobs were different. Should I leave it separated or is there a way to make it to show that I worked there for almost 10 years?
So this is a complicated question because for human beings, I would put one employer and then just have each of the job titles. For computers, they don't understand that.
Ah,
They need you to put the name of the organization each time. What some people will do, because it's a computer, is put it in white text so that no one sees it.
Oh,
When you go to the
okay.
second position, you could put that in white. And so that's one option. You could also put the full range of the dates in the first entry and then have, family case manager and in parentheses, the dates of it. And you just kind of like, there's not like a really perfect solution to that, unfortunately, just because of the computers and how they read things.
Okay.
Let me add something to that. Okay, Brenda, can you scroll back up to the top of that?
Yep.
Yeah, on that, just on this. The thing that strikes me is that you're somebody who was getting promoted. In other words, the people were recognizing you, they were seeing you grow and develop, and that you're that sort of person. So you're conveying, I'm a person who grows and develops in the role. So I would recommend at the beginning of that particular, which position is this we're looking at? This is the
It was
Indiana.
the court administrator, commissioner's executive secretary, and clerk.
Okay, not so below this first one, the other one's down here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I would put the organization in, and then one of the lines would be, promoted from this position to this position to this position over my tenure there, and then you break it out. So because of, singled out for, high performance or whatever. I mean, with high performance reviews or some indication.
Yeah,
maybe-
promoted after X number of years too.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you're conveying the story of your growth. One of the things that Bob has mentioned, Bob Wright, who's our CEO and who's been involved in this a lot, is a lot of times what's more powerful to share is not just your skill set, but how you've learned and grown in your life. Because when you're going to a new position, they want somebody who's going to be ready to learn and grow in some new way. So if you're conveying that you're somebody who likes to learn, to grow and develop, that's going to be a talking point. So that's one thing I would emphasize. The other thing, Brenda, I know you know, as you say, from what you were mentioning, a lot about what we call PAR statements, problem, action, result, so you've got a lot of responsibilities that you've done, but I have no idea why you'd be better than somebody else responsible for submission of payroll for 3 departments. Well, okay, good. I hope you did a good job. But there's not a conveyance of, I did this, like I, consistently hit payroll deadlines within, within X number of days of deadline with 0 errors or things like that. So we get a sense of your precision, how you did it, and why you would stand out. So that you're conveying and the important point is to convey a sense that you're somebody who gets stuff done, not just somebody who fills a role. And actually, every one of these bullet points, you can't always do it for all of them, but for as many as you can, you want to convey that, because they actually then describe your skill set. Like, oh, this is a person who gets stuff done on time. Good to know. Or let's see, what's another one? Work closely with department heads and elected officials to help facilitate answers to questions and responses to complaints, thereby building relationships building relationships across all county departments. So you actually are working with the department heads and officials to help them answer questions for the public that's asking them about stuff. Is that what you were doing there?
yes. And questions that they had, because they would come to the commissioner's office with complaints about their department.
So how many complaints do you have to handle in a given month?
Oh, Lord, probably 50.
Okay, so 50 plus complaints from the public on key issues, plus support for how many complaints, or how many times do you have to go to the department heads to help them respond to these, or what complaints or issues they've got?
Okay.
How many would you say a month?
probably close to the same amount because I couldn't really field the complaints myself. I had to, send them out to the correct department.
So you're good at collaborating. You're working with people to help them respond. You're responding to the public. There's tons of skills in here that get lost in the statement as it is. So
I see.
It's something for also, as George was saying earlier, for all of you, listen for and look at
Yes.
your own resume bullets and ask yourself this question, these types of questions about whether you're conveying what you really did, or it's just this kind of general thing. Anytime you see responsible for, you're in trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. So all of you, this is for the whole
Erase
group.
those words from your resume.
And the cool thing is, when you think about it, you'll kind of go, whoa, I did a lot. There's a lot in here that you notice how we have to ask a lot of questions even to get to the gold of this
Right.
resume. There's a lot in here that is, you've successfully buried your talents and abilities and results in your responsibility statements. So we now have to excavate those and get those out so they shine like little glimmers. And the truth is, nobody's going to read all this resume. This is too long. But you want to get enough set up front so they just go, okay, sounds good. Let me do the interview. So you want to make sure you're hitting these PAR statements. And if you want advice or coaching on that, I'm sure Brenda or myself or others can help provide that for you. So for coaching on that. So, but let me know, is this making sense to you, Robin? What's your thoughts about this?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just thinking like, I have a lot of work to do on this and I can't believe that I've actually sent this thing out. Like, can I do a do-over? Like, hi, it's me again.
You can do a do-over if the
Oh, that's
position's
great.
open.
Say more about that,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Well, you can absolutely say I've updated my resume and wanted to resubmit my application if the position's still open. I mean, if it's closed, then deal's done, but there's no rule that says you can't submit an updated resume.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. I'm totally gonna do that.